Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Lisa of Diamonds and Stitches, and today I am going to be working on a new piece called Friend of the Maidens. I am actually at my boyfriend's house this weekend, and so I do whips at his place and I leave them here, and so that there's something that I work on while I'm here. And the intent actually was to work on things that were either gifts for other people so that they didn't see them in my house, or, pieces that were going to kind of stay here. And so I was originally going to bring my Elsa or my Anna, the Snow Queen or Worth Melting For, from Mandy Manzano. But I was in a big hurry on Friday getting my little off to camp and getting to work and the dogs and all that other stuff, that really what I did was I grabbed what was easiest, and it ended up being a Friend of the Maidens and a Seahawks piece, because as you can see, I love me some Seahawks, and football season has started. And my boys won on Thursday night. Yes, they did. So off to a good season already. And so yesterday I started working on that piece. I'm gonna show you just a little bit of what I have done. This is such a bad angle and I'm sorry. But I did a little bit of the top here in my Seahawks piece, and this is the first piece that I have started putting the parchment paper on, and I think I like this system. However, I have found oh my gosh, I've found a flaw already, and that is if I don't finish a section with the parchment paper in it, because I don't want to pull out another set of drills. I have found that the parchment paper going back on one little line of glue is very hard for it to stay on. So I'm finding that either I have to make my section smaller because I can't devote a bunch of time to necessarily a section, or sometimes I might get several sections done just because I have the time. So it depends. So I think I'm gonna have to make smaller sections. But it's good because it's a test piece, and it's my Seahawks, and I love my Seahawks. So I have two diamond paintings. This is the first one that I've brought over here, and I'll do another one as well. And they will be while I'm watching the game. But for this one, it's not a gift, it's not anything, but I've been wanting to work on it for a while. So this probably makes 9 whips. I think that makes 9 whips. I'm a little scared, you guys. I need to start actually finishing some stuff. But let's get into that and chit chat while we diamond paint. So I call my series Whips and Sips. So I have my ever-present coffee. This is my, what did we decide it was? Hills Brothers cappuccino in vanilla, French vanilla. So really it's flavored water. I have a nice full cup of that. I have my drills or diamonds all kitted up, and you guys know, whoop, here, let's put you in here. I love this storage system. This is a 60 piece that I bought from AliExpress, and I kitted it up last night. And you guys all know that I use just the 1 through whatever numbering system. This has 60 bottles in it, so eventually I will make the 60 labels for it. I just stopped because I was only kitting up the one. And but you all know that this is how I like to do my kitting up. And while I use this system exclusively, I cannot claim ownership to how it was first made. I watched a video from Stitcherista, and she had started the numbering system, and it made so much, oh, what happened there? It made so much sense to me, because there were quite a few diamond paintings that I had purchased that did not have the DMC color. they just had like the number and the symbol. So they numbered it number 1 and then the symbol. And so, you know, and I'm not going to draw a symbol on a sticker. That's not me. Okay, 24. 24 is what color? 939. Okay, so we're not going to start with that color. Oh, why? Okay, so as we 21 8 2 3. I probably don't have that one either. Oh yeah, I do. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so it made a lot of sense, especially as I saw. Sorry, I'm sticking my diamonds in my diamond tray, and I have not the best camera angle. I left my other, like I said, I was in a hurry, trying to get everything done, and the little off to camp. We were already an hour late for camp, so whatever. But I was in a hurry to get things, and I forgot certain things, and I forgot my other stand to put my camera in. So I'm sorry, we're just gonna have to suffer with the angle that we've got going on here. Why? Let me just double check that I'm doing the right color. I got myself a little distracted. 21, yes, okay, wise. So what was I talking about? Oh my gosh. So yes, so that it made a lot of sense to me, not only when I saw her, how she had started her storage system, but then as I was working on my pieces. Can I maybe get you guys a little closer? Here, let's see if I can get you a little closer. There we go. It just made sense. So I have been using this system exclusively, I think for, has it been a year now? I'm not sure. It's been a long time anyways. I like this system. I have no problem when I kit up. I just get rid of, when I'm finished a kit, in order to kit down, I pretty much throw away the drills, the diamonds that are left, and some I keep. You know, if they're Diamond Art Club ones, I may keep those. I don't keep every color though, because I'm not going to need them. And but some I do keep. Okay, there's something wrong with my light pad. It keeps flickering. But it's just easy. I can throw them away and move on and start kitting up the next diamond painting that I'm going to be working on. So yeah, so not my original system. The original idea was not mine, and I believe in giving credit where credit is due. I also know that, you know, I'm a big person. I don't reinvent the wheel if I don't have to. I am happy when other people see there's a problem with this. Okay, maybe it's the cord. Maybe that's it. Okay, let's try that. Sorry. Yeah, I believe in giving credit where credit is due, and you know, if somebody has a great idea, but I can make it into my, you know, how it fits me, I'm going to give credit to the original person who did it, and then, you know, how I changed it, if that's what I did. So, but I also believe that, you know, we all really take ideas that have already been out there, and make them our own. So, yep, that's what crafting is. I've also learned that there's no mistakes in crafting. Well, except when you can't get the diamond on the training wheel. Goodness sakes. Yeah, so what was I going to talk about today? I don't know. It's been a long week, you guys. It's been a long week. What's happened this week? I don't know. our little. So I have a granddaughter. She is 8, and my daughter is a teenage mom. And one day I'll talk about that story. But anyways, when we went through, went through the process of teenage mom and what we were gonna do. And she decided that, she wanted to keep the baby and what we as a family were going to do and that kind of thing. So anyways, what it's ended up being is that my daughter and I pretty much raise my granddaughter. And we joke with each other that, she's the dad and I'm the mom. And even though, I'm her Grammy and she is a special, I've been there pretty much since I found out. And so, I've been there for all the ups and downs of my daughter's pregnancy. I've been there for, her birth and like just since day one. And I love this little girl. She is just a joy and a bit of a challenge. And like I said, one day I'll talk about that I'll devote a video to her little life. And so anyways, she has in the last few weeks had some issues. She fell at camp and fractured her arm. And so she was in a removable cast thing, brace for a few weeks. And we just had the x-ray done last week and everything looks great, but she had actually fractured it along one of her growth plates. And so there was some concern that would, heal up properly, but kids are pretty resilient and they do heal fairly quickly, which is good. But so she had that, so that kind of hampered her a little bit, and she's a very active little girl, and so that hampered her a little bit with the swimming and the golf and all the things that she is able to do at camp. And I have no more of this symbol. That probably was not the best symbol to start with, because now I've got to get these all back in here. Oh dear. But then, maybe a week after the arm, she got ear infection and, what we thought was an ear infection. And so her mom being in medical, she has avenues to have things looked at and whatever. And so, we thought that it was an ear infection, got medication for an ear infection. And so my little baby was on that for a week, the amoxicillin, which is horrible. And of course we bribed her that if she was really good about taking it twice a day like she was supposed to without crying, complaining, and all that stuff, that she was able to pick a toy of her choosing up to a certain amount of money. And I figured she'd pick Lego because she is a huge Lego fan, or maybe like some more arts and crafts because she loves arts and crafts. Coffee is an awesome thing. Whoever invented coffee was brilliant. Serious. 19. Let's hope this one's more, yeah, it is. So anyway, it ended up after being a week and her tugging on her ear. At first, everything was great. She was feeling better. Things were great. At camp, she still could go in the pool, but we had to, don't get your head in the water and, all those kinds of things, all the instructions. But, she's an active little girl and she forgets. And, okay, let's see if I can do this. Yeah, baby. And so, yeah. It ended up that it was actually not an ear infection. It was swimmer's ear. And, but, 6 days later of her taking amoxicillin, and which, isn't going to hurt her. But it wasn't making her ear better either. It was for a short term, but long term it wasn't. And luckily we figured it out. And so she's now on the drop system. So now, of course, she's had another bribe because she did really well on the medication. And, we got to hold up that end of the bargain. And yeah, so now she gets to pick two things. And she's pretty excited about that. So she has been plotting and trying to, we'll be spending a lot of time, I'm sure, in Target or wherever she chooses to go, choosing her items, because she's very thoughtful when she is getting something. So, and it takes her a little while to choose. And then there's also some, wheedling on her part. But Grammy, it's only a few more dollars. And I really want this one, and it's only a few more dollars. They don't have the one in my size that I want. She is a very good negotiator. She's a great negotiator. And of course, she's got Grammy wrapped around her every finger. And so she knows darn well that I'm going to give in. And yeah, she's a little spoiled, but she's not bratty about it. However, okay, so I have 4 children, and everybody has always said to me, oh, wow, your kids are so good. How did you make your kids so good? Blah, blah, blah. Well, so I have noticed, so my oldest is 28. He'll be 29 in January. And then his brother is seriously 13 months behind him. And so, not only are they close together, but they're also boys. And then my daughter came along, and she is, I think she's either 6, I can't do the math right this moment, but I think she's 16, 17, 18 months behind her second brother. So, yeah. And my kids just knew, I didn't specifically punish my kids, but I was a angry parent, in the beginning, I guess, of their, I have a temper. And while I never beat my children, I yelled a lot. I did a lot of yelling. And slamming of doors. And, I was very, very quick to yell. And my first son, unfortunately, he's a very quiet boy. He takes everything very, very personally. Even if it's not his fault, he overanalyzes, overthinks, overstresses, has high anxiety. And I just never, you don't think, what you do to your kids. But anyways, my children were very well behaved. They were well behaved in public. They were well behaved at other people's homes. They weren't always well behaved at home, of course. They definitely tested boundaries and stuff. But, I used to have a lot of fun with my kids. We would read and play and fantasize. And, I was a pretty active parent with my kids. We would go to the park, and we did all kinds of stuff. And I am a firm believer that kids are supposed to be kids, and they're not supposed to be your friends, and I never treated my kids like they were friends. I treated them like they were my children, and that, they had consequences to their actions. I taught them that it was important to be independent, and and to, you know, that you could respectfully, if you disagreed with somebody, that you could respectfully state your opinion. And my kids also knew that if they got out of line, I just had to either give them the look, and they knew right away, oh, my ass is grass, and I should probably stop because what else was coming is probably bad, right? And for my older boys, especially when they got up in age and started computer gaming and that kind of thing, taking away their game time was like the ultimate punishment for my kids, like the ultimate punishment. And so it was really easy. Like, you know, and my kids weren't sneaky. They weren't sneaky in the way that, you know, they would do things and hope that they didn't get caught. I think that I instilled just enough parental fear in them, as they should have, to be fairly good kids. They were fairly good, or they are fairly good kids. You know, I also raised them in a house that no subject was taboo. You know, like we talked about everything. We talked about, you know, premarital sex. We talked about drugs. We talked about drinking. We talked about driving. We talked about friends. We talked about, I mean, everything, anything that you could think of. There was no subject that was off limits to be able to talk about. And I felt that it was important to not over information my kids, but also that they knew that if there was something that was bugging them, or they were confused about something, that they could come to me and at least talk about it without it being an issue. And that served really well, especially when my daughter became a teenager or a preteen. And she would have friends that would have, you know, issues with their parents or whatever. And what they would do is they would go to her with the problem and say, can you ask your mom? And so then she would pose it as a hypothetical, whatever. And I would give the advice, and she would go back to her friends with the advice. And that went on for years. And I think that it's really cute that, you know, that these girls thought enough, you know, of my advice that they would not come directly to me, but they would seek out the advice, you know, from my daughter through me, or from me through my daughter. Yeah, so, but it was, and then to have a daughter come home and be a teenage pregnant daughter, I was like, we've talked about these things. So kids do not go on the path that you would like them to go on sometimes, but it has definitely worked out. And while definitely not advocate in any way, shape, or form, but for my daughter, she has had a lot of support, and it has, you know, she's growing up in a really loving household. And luckily, she also lives in an era where, you know, everybody comes from different family structures, you know. And so, you know, it is not unusual that she is growing up with not only her Grammy and her uncles, but that her mom was much younger than a typical, you know, what is typical? But a you know, waiting to get married and have kids and that kind of thing. And now that she's 8, she has, well, before she was 8 even, she would say, you know, my mom is so young or whatever. But and it's really funny when my daughter goes on field trips or comes to pick up the little or anything like that, you know, people will assume that I'm her mom and that she's like the sister. And the look on their face, I always enjoy. This is one of my greatest enjoyments, is when people will figure out that she is the mom, and then you can see them calculating the age. Cracks me up every time. And then sometimes you get the shift, you know, the, oh, you were young. And then that automatic judgment kicks in for some people. Like, it wasn't a judgment that maybe I was her mom and I was a little older when I had her, or that my daughter was the sister. But as soon as they figure out that she's the mom and the age that she was at, you can definitely see the switch in some people. And then that whole judgment of, oh, you were that person, or it's just a different attitude. And it's really funny because you can clearly see that, you can clearly tell that my granddaughter is very well loved. She is, clean, she's happy, she's well fed, she is, articulate. And I know it's not intentional. It's just the way that we've all, grown up. And, back in my day, good Lord, if there was a girl in high school that was pregnant, you were practically shunned. So, and then there was the shotgun wedding and, that kind of thing. And even so much in my mom and dad's era too, or their generation, that also was big. Well, now there's just so, I don't know. It's different. It's a different world, that's for sure. But anyways, back to, my kids being good kids. When I had my last child, so there's a bit of an age gap between him and his siblings. And so I noticed a very big shift when when my oldest was in school versus my youngest being in school. And the shift in parenting, even though there was a 9-year difference, the shift in parenting, as well as 20, yeah, as well as the attitude of parenting and the difference in education, like in that 9 years, so much changed. And so when my oldest was going to school, we didn't help our kids with homework, and we didn't, if they were doing something naughty in school, they were held accountable. And it was just different. So anyways, when my youngest got to school, the parenting, so he was my last child, but he was going to school with a bunch of kids that was the parents' first child. And I will say, yes, there's a difference between your first kid and your fourth kid, and raising them. Like my first, I can tell you that, when he was born, everything had to be sterilized down to the nth degree, right? And everything had to be new, and you had to, like, everything was carefully measured out, carefully this, carefully that, right? Well, by the time that the fourth came around, that you found a pacifier in, the bottom of the diaper bag that probably had been there for like 3 months, you quickly did a wipe on your pants and stuck it in their mouth. Like, they're not going to die. It's fine. But it's just such a different upbringing, I guess, or a parenting, that you're nervous with your first, and by that you figure out that they don't break, they're fine, they're not going to die. And half the time, no matter how careful you are, they're eating dirt anyway. So, it is what it is. But I definitely, when my youngest was going to school, and, I was getting in with the PTA and that kind of thing, the parents were just, they had a different parenting style than I did, and mostly because that was their first child, and I was a little seasoned and was already on my fourth, and, knew better. And so the competition of, oh, my Johnny read at 4 and tied their shoes at 2 didn't mean a hill of beans, because by the time they're all in 4th grade, they all know how to do those things. And believe me, in college, they're not taking a pacifier. So we're all good. It's okay. But with my first kid, I didn't understand that. By the time my 4th came around, oh yeah, I was like, okay. So I would look around at these parents, and then it became also, that the kids were just starting to get into social media, having social devices more readily available to them than my first three did. Again, a lot changed in a 9 year period for technology and all that kind of stuff. And so when my last little guy was going to school, these kids were getting cell phones, and their parents were uber involved, and they were like doing 800 different after school activities, and parents were doing their homework for them, so that that they could take piano lessons, because piano lessons interfered with this, and just whatever. And okay, not my kids. You didn't do your homework and you didn't turn it in on time, well, that's a consequence. Like, you learn that you get a 0, or your name went up on the board that you were one of the kids who didn't finish, or whatever the case was. Like, I didn't cater to my kids in that way. I always feel that you need to do things on your own merit, because come test time, and I'm not there to take the test for you, and you didn't do the homework before, so you have no idea what's on the test, and you're going to fail that, that's on you. Like, it's not on me, because I know you need to learn what you're doing. And yeah, so, or projects, like you could see the kids who came to science fair and their parents did the work for the kids, or were very overly involved with the kids in the project. Okay, not my kids. I would, because I like doing arts and crafts and things, and I have a lot of things. They had a lot of arts and crafts stuff at their disposal to use, and I would make suggestions, but I certainly never sat down and helped my kids do their project, because it was their project. Now, would I type and print out their reports? Absolutely. But they had already written it up. Like, I was not changing anything. I wasn't doing anything. It was written the way it was typed the way they wrote it. Like, it was their work, and it was important that it was their work and that they take pride in it. And, yeah. So, my kids just came from a different household than their friends did. Like, my last little guy, he would be super happy, sitting at a meeting with me for PTA or for swim or for whatever. He would be happy sitting on his Game Boy, in a chair, and not say boo. Kind of started doing anything, I just used to hold up a finger and start going like this. And I don't know what he thought was ever going to happen by the time we got to 3. His brothers and sister probably scared the crap out of him. But by the time that I got to, like, started putting the second finger up, he was back doing whatever he was supposed to be doing. And I actually had a mom once come to me and say, I don't understand. How is it that your kids are so well behaved? And I'm like, because I treat them like they're children, and they have punishments or consequences to their actions. And she goes, oh, I can't do that with my kids. And I'm like, well, and he didn't, it just was so implied. Maybe that's why your children act the way they do. But, to this day, my children are adults, and they know how to talk to other people, other adults. And they are, for the most part, they're really good kids. Now, are they perfect? Heck no, they are not. I have one child who lives down the street from me. He moved out a couple of years ago, and he says nothing to his family. I don't know what his anger issue is with us, but he has essentially cut off his family. And And while I have a really hard time with that, I just keep, you know, sending him texts and letting him know that I'm always here, and that, you know, maybe one day, whatever his issue is, he will get over it or talk about it so we can at least solve it. I don't know. But you know, I just keep being there for him and knowing that it is okay, and that maybe one day he will come back to the fold, you know. And like I said, my daughter, she got pregnant as a teenager, and you know, for the most part, every teenager in the world is stupid. You can't help that. It's genetic, I think. And every teenager in the world has a "that will never happen to me" mentality. And yep, she got caught in that. And you know, and I said to her, I am, ooh, those are going to be the ABs. Well, let's do those. I said to her, you know, I did stupid things growing up. I did super stupid things growing up. And mainly because I rebelled a lot at home. And I'm lucky that I just never, you know, that did not catch up with me. And I have friends that were not as lucky. I have acquaintances, again, who were not as lucky. I have friends of family friends that they also were not as lucky. And not that I guess luck is not, I don't know, but I think you get what I'm saying, is that, you know, some people get caught and in that, and others seem to escape that and hopefully learn their lesson. And I sure did. And especially when I had a friend who there was a very tragic issue that happened at a frat party. And you know, when I saw my friend get, it was horrible, and it was a big wake-up call, let me tell you. And so yeah, I think I got one too many in that one. Yeah, I did. Shoot balls. Okay. Where? Nope, 3. Okay. I'm still trying to get used to the multi-placer. I'm getting there. So, yeah, I don't know why I got on this topic. That was a little heavy. More heavy than I expected. But, I don't even really know why I got there, and I've lost my train of thought again. But that is, you know, my kids growing up, good kids. I'm very proud of them. You know, they all are, we're a pretty good family, you know, for, like, we stick together. We do things together. We're happy to be together, you know, like, we don't, it's not like a chore, you know, for the ones who are left at home. I have 3 of my 4. You know, we like being with each other. We don't, there's not fighting, yelling and screaming. My daughter and I, every once in a while, we'll get into it, mainly because we're both stressed and tired, and feel like there was an unjustment, you know, an unjustified something happened or whatever. And so every once in a while we'll get into it, and the poor boys, you know, they go and hide, but we always come out of whatever our issue is, and you know, we're good. We love each other. And, you know, our family, we help each other out. We work together to keep our system going. And I think that's part of, you know, how I raised them too. It was very important to me that they were raised in a home that they knew that family stuck together, that you looked out for each other. We respected each other. We respected, you know, people outside of our home. And I taught my kids that nobody is more special than you, and nobody is less special than you. You know, we all put our pants on one leg at a time. We are all important. And okay, I don't even know what else to talk about today, you guys. I had notes, but again, like I said, I moved out so fast. I forgot my diamond painting pen. I'm using one of these pink pens. Um, yeah, and a tray. Oh, you guys, I got one of those nice big white trays. Game changer, game changer. Yes, sir. And now I'm getting more proficient in using the multi-placer that, what is this one? This one's a 6. That I'm getting much more proficient at it. And, oh, game changer. I am so, so happy learning how to, you know, doing this, and it's going a little faster that I'm loving diamond painting. It's getting there the first time. Plus I have really shaky hands. And so, yeah, sometimes I don't get it on there as straight as I would love, but I'm getting there, you guys. I'm getting there. So I think that is Little Miss Diamond Painting Queen, who encouraged me and actually told me about the new, well, are they new? Star Wars multi-placers. Okay, those are awesome. Can I just say awesome? Like, yeah, I am loving those. And I'm missing it right now, but I am loving those because they are pretty. They're nice. The diamonds don't sink into, they're just a little thinner across, and so the wax doesn't like spooge out. Whoa! Okay, this is why Lisa has issues with these ones with the spouts. I forget that I have it, and then things come out. And I've lost some pretties, some sparkles. I'll have to go find them after, as long as I don't have any on my canvas. I don't think I do. No, I think I'm okay. But yeah, they seem to be a little bit thinner, and so the diamonds don't shove into the wax as much, and then they don't like go in on an angle. They're just so much nicer. And so I have been using those for a while, and I'm really liking them. So that again is because of Diamond Painting Queen. She suggested those, and I bought some, and they came, and I started using it on my Diamond Heart collab piece with Sherry, which is a square piece. And so that was a bit of a learning curve too, because I have only been using the placers for the rounds. And so yeah, so that was a bit of a learning curve, but oh, going so much faster. Okay, you guys, there's a gem in here. There's a diamond in here that does not have the glitter on it. And it keeps like freaking me out because I'm like, it's the same color. It just doesn't have the sparkle. Do you guys see that? Here, let me see if I can find it for you. Oh, there's 2 of them. Kind of. Okay, one right, oh, one right there, not as dazzly. And then this one right here, see? So if you see it next to a dazzly one, here. You see that? Those 2 right there? One's super sparkly and one doesn't have any sparkle on it at all, like the extra little sparkle. It still has sparkle because of the way it's cut, but it keeps freaking me out because I'm like, okay, don't pick that one. Don't pick that one. Yeah, I'll pick it out of there in a minute. Yeah, so So Miss Sherry from Diamond Art Addiction has been rocking her collab piece. And while she was on vacation, she did a bunch on it. And so I think she mentioned that she's going to be done this coming Wednesday for our collab, and that she's going to do her post review. Mine is not going to be done in that time, and so I will just continue working on it, and then when I have mine done, I will do the post collab, the post review on it, I mean, and so I will post that so that you can see it, and obviously link Sherry's post review as well. But yeah, she got so much further ahead than I did, and maybe it's because I have too many whips. Maybe that's my issue. But I was only really working on it on our collab days, and so I was not, getting as much done. But I've been working at home. It's at my home, and so I've been working on it at night, trying to get it done, and I will work on that piece pretty exclusively until I get it done. I do have another piece that I'm doing with Allie Crafts Pursuits, and Kiss My Crafts, which all with a K, Kiss My Crafts with a K, that I am doing. We're doing the JoJo's Art Dreamcatcher Wolf, and I am excited for that one. And so it's kind of like we challenged each other. Allie started it, and we're challenging each other to get it done by October. See who can get it done first by October. Well, Kiss My Crafts, I was watching her channel the other day, and she is already working on it, and oh my gosh, is it a beautiful piece. Like I've kitted it up. I've kitted it up. I just haven't started on it yet, but that is also one that I am working on at home because, as you know, it's a gift, and so I can't do it here. And so yeah, I am looking forward to that one. So between those two, okay, this one is so stuck up in the wax. I can't get it out. There we go. So I'm looking forward to that one, and I believe that Kiss My Crafts, if she keeps going the way she's going, she's gonna have that sucker done by September. But it's gorgeous. It is gorgeous. So I'm looking forward to working on that one with them. And so I will link Kiss My Crafts in my description below, as well as Allie Craft Pursuits. So you can go to both their channels and check out that little collab. And then I also am going to do one from Tiny World of Wonder. Good Lord, I hope I have that right. Tiny Worlds of Wonder. I'll link that also in my description below. And it is a drills, hashtag drills and chills. And it is a Halloween scary or autumn based paint with us. And so I ordered up it's a Halloween piece. I ordered up my Halloween piece, even though I had one. I had a Jack Skellington, but this paint with me is from September to October 31st. And given the size of my Jack Skellington, I don't think that I would get it done in time. And I really wanted to get something done on time. And so I decided to go and find a piece, and I did on AliExpress. So I'm excited for that. So I will also link that. This one is in conjunction with another YouTube creator. Oh, what's her name? Maybe Rebecca. I am really bad with names, you guys. But I will, regardless, I will link the information below. And so yeah, that's what's kind of coming up. And then when I'm here at my boyfriend's house, I will be working on my Seahawks and Friend of the Maiden piece. I got a little bit done today, so I'm excited about that. We're going to go to Home Depot soon here and order up some supplies to fix the fence. Well, really rebuild the whole fence here. We did mine last summer and now we're doing his this summer. And so yeah, so that's what I got going on. You will probably see this Seahawks shirt quite a bit in my future diamond paintings or one like it. We have a Seahawks Blue Friday. We call it Blue Friday. And so people who are huge Seahawks fans, me, wear something Seahawks related on Blue Friday. And then on my Sunday games, I obviously will wear something Seahawks inspired. And then we'll probably work on my whip, my Seahawks whip for game days. So expect to see those too. All right, well, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Sorry for the ramblings and a little bit of a rant on children. But you know, I think that everybody does things the way that they know how. Yeah, so anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video and hope to see you in my next videos. All right, bye-bye.